Once upon a time, there was a manager at a large company who didn't like interviewing job candidates. He found it time-consuming, unpredictable, and frankly awkward. Every day, he looked for ways to streamline the process. So when an AI tool promised to screen resumes, analyze facial expressions, and tell him who'd be the best hire, he jumped at it. Until one day, someone pointed out that nearly all his shortlisted candidates were male, and none had overseas experience. Because of that, the company paused all hiring. Because of that, they dug deeper and found that the AI had been trained on 10 years of past hiring data, most of which came from a team that was unintentionally biased in its preferences. Until finally, they realized they were doing the wrong thing with AI. They rewrote the rules. The AI could still help some parts of the process, but the final decisions are made by people.
We've reached the final lesson in this module, and maybe the most important one. It's about decision-making with AI. Not the kind where you're picking a lunch spot for the weekend, the kind where someone's life or future might be affected, even in small ways. Because, just like in that story, AI can seem like the perfect shortcut. But just because you can use AI to make a decision doesn't mean you should. Here are the questions to ask yourself. Who gets affected if the AI gets it wrong? Would you be willing to explain that decision to the person it affects and stand by it? Is a human checking the AI's work before any serious decision is made? If the answer to that last one is no, you've got a problem. Even the Australian Voluntary AI Safety Standard says this. You should make sure that human decision-makers can understand the basis of any AI-enabled decision, particularly in high-risk situations. That's a fancy way of saying, don't hide behind the algorithm, own the outcome. Let's talk about some real-world examples. Let's talk about AI in education. AI can mark short answers and essays pretty well. But what happens when schools go a step further and start using AI to detect if a student used AI? That's what some universities have done with so-called AI detectors. They sound useful, but there's a problem. These detectors are notoriously unreliable, especially with students who aren't native English speakers. In some studies, up to half the time, they wrongly accused international students of using AI when they hadn't. Imagine being a hard-working student turning in your own work and being told a machine thinks you've cheated. It's not just unfair, it's discriminatory. So again, AI can assist. It can flag something for review, but it can't be judge, jury, and executioner. A human needs to step in, look closer, and apply judgment. That's what fairness looks like. Or, here's another one where it wasn't a person who lost out. It was the business. A Chevrolet dealership in the US decided to add AI to their customer service website. Sounds clever, right? Except they didn't set proper boundaries. And the AI, powered by ChatGPT, started agreeing to ridiculous deals. Deals like selling a new SUV for $1, throwing in free extras, and negotiating against itself. Word got out, screenshots spread, and the dealership had to backtrack fast, claiming the bot was just a joke. But it wasn't a joke to the internet, or to customers who showed up asking for their $1 SUV. So here's the lesson. AI can make you faster, but it can also make you look foolish, fast. If you're letting it talk to customers, make sure it knows the rules, and have a human in the loop to catch the chaos before it goes live. So here's the final lesson for the Responsible AI module. Think carefully before automating the process of AI making decisions on your organization's behalf. Here's your rule of thumb. If the decision doesn't matter, let the AI go for it. If it might affect a person's reputation, livelihood, or opportunity, you need a human in the loop. Because responsibility can't be outsourced, not to a tool, not to a trend, and not to an AI,